What's going on, American truckers? Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper. And this is the voice of Old Snapper. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, all that stuff YouTubers say. And we do everything here trucking related. A little bit of ranting, a little bit of talking about dispatchers, a little bit of talking about everything. But anyway, in this video, it's going to be not cabbage. I was about to say Cabbage Pass again. It's going to be Grapevine. This is on I-5 in California, just north of LA. On the day this was filmed on my dash cam, I had parked in Castic, and I ran up to American Canyon, California, with a delivery in between in Watsonville, California, I believe was the name of it. But anyway, I'm going to talk about a few things in this video. We're going to talk about the lies on Trucker Path. And as y'all know, on this channel, I support drivers 100%. But in this video, towards the end of this video, I'm going to rant on some I'm not going to say dumb, but ignorant things that truckers do that not only make it harder on themselves, but it makes it harder on all of us out here. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. First off, let's get into the lies or the lies on Trucker Path. I don't know what the deal is, but I know what the deal is, and I'm about to explain it. If you get on Trucker Path and you look up parking, you can look at Walmarts, whatever's in the area. More times than not, almost every Walmart on Trucker Path, you'll see drivers leaving comments and they'll say, no parking here, no parking here. But then whenever I call the Walmart, they allow parking. They allow overnight parking. I've had it happen so much. Probably if I look on Trucker Path 5 times that the reviews on Trucker Path say no parking, 3 of those times they allow parking. So it's silly. I don't know if drivers lie on the thing just because drivers are inherently negative most of the time, and it's something I work on with myself, because even I get that way when I've been out here a little while. But I don't know if it's just because they're just negative, or if they feel like that's going to be their secret spot because they're the only ones that know that Walmart allows parking. That's just craziness, man. Put the truth on there. If the Walmart allows parking, put it on there. If they don't, put it on there. And you can look back and see how far back, the last comment was made. And I look for the most recent one. And it's almost always, no, this Walmart does not allow parking. Or it'll say for shopping only. And then when I call, because I seen so many times that it happens that I started calling them. And when I call them, it's total BS. And I've often wondered too if maybe it's not the Walmart that's doing it, and maybe it's the locals. Maybe the locals have figured out we use that app, and maybe they've started doing that. Either way, it's messed up, and it really needs to stop. If it's drivers doing it, it really needs to stop. If you are one of the drivers that does that, please do not do that. Because parking out here is very limited. And when you lie about a place not having parking that does have parking, it makes it harder on somebody who may be out of hours that's trying to find a place to park in the area, when the whole time they could have parked there. I also encourage you that if you're looking for parking, don't believe what Trucker Path says about any place. Call them. I've had Trucker Path tell me that a place is a truck stop and that it has parking. I'll get there and ain't got a lick of parking. It's just a gas station. I've had that happen a couple different times. And I think that's actually the store owners, for whatever reason, thinking they're going to get more business if they do it that way. Because it's usually the foreign stores. I'll show up and it's just a gas station with 2 diesel pumps or something. Just big enough to get a truck circled through it, but it doesn't have parking. So please, drivers, call, check on this stuff. Don't just assume that Trucker Path's telling you the truth, because there's some serious glitches within Trucker Path about parking. All right. The next thing I'm going to talk about is going to get on some people's nerves. It's going to piss some people off. And it's going to be a little bit controversial. But I got to say it. It's just got to be said. But before I do, I'm going to give a little disclaimer. You can go back and listen through my videos. I have always supported drivers. Always. I am one. I hold drivers to a high regard. I think we're widely misunderstood within society. And I think it's wrong the way we're treated a lot of times at shippers, receivers, and in society as in general as a whole. But I gotta get into some ignorant things that drivers do. And I'm not going to say that I don't do anything that isn't ignorant, because I have. I've done some things that I knew was ignorant when I did it, but I was being lazy at the moment or whatever, or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into some just absolutely ignorant things drivers do. First off, I'm going to talk about CB radios. I have a CB in my truck. If you can hear it there. But most of the time, it's all the way down or off. I can't tell you how many times I've heard a driver say, man, if you got that radio on, it'll keep you from having an accident up the road. Well, first of all, you should be looking up the road. Second of all, you should be going at a speed that you can stop in the distance you can see. I mean, that's like day number 3 of truck driving school, right? So at no point in time should the CB be what you're relying on so that you don't have an accident up the road. And if you are, you may screw yourself, and I'm about to tell you why. In the winter, I used to, years ago, I would ask on the CB. We didn't have all the apps. I mean, we had cell phones when I started driving, but a lot of the apps and stuff we have now, we didn't have back then, or I didn't know about them. So if I was in Wyoming or somewhere, going through the mountains, I'd get on the CB and I'd ask the drivers coming at me, hey, what's some roads look like going across the pass or whatever. And I can't count how many times a driver is keyed up on that mic and just flat out lied to me. They think it's funny. They're just flat out lie to you. Oh man, the pass is great. They got it all salted up. Traffic's moving 65, 70 mile an hour. Not a problem. 20 minutes later, you get up on the pass, it's covered in ice. There's accidents all over the place. Traffic's moving 5 or 10 miles an hour. And he can't see 50 feet, wind blowing. It's stuff like that. I used to say a CB was useful, but I've encountered that so many times that I don't even think it's useful anymore. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play with one. Play with them in a truck stop or talk smack on them a little bit, here and there. Back in the lot lizard days, I used to call lot lizards and send them to Swift trucks that were around me, because I don't know why. I was bored and I thought it was hilarious to watch a lot lizard knock on the Swift truck door, knowing that the Swift driver probably couldn't afford the lot lizard to begin with. But I still did it. But and I still run with a CB, and if I see the law setting somewhere, I'll normally call them out, because your owner operators, they're not governed, and some of them will be speeding. Or if there's a gator in the road, and for those of y'all that are new to truck driving, a gator in the road is a piece of tire or an object or whatever in the lane. Sometimes somebody will have a blowout, and it just gets left in the middle of the road, and that can cause another accident. So I'll call that out over the radio, with a mile marker and what lane it is. If there's an accident, I will call it out over the radio just to give the drivers a heads up, that, hey, you're going to be coming to a parking lot in 4 miles or whatever. But to say that radio prevents them from having an accident is total BS. And drivers that say that they're either delusional or something. Here's another thing that's just flat out ignorant that drivers do, and it gets on my nerves, and I'm going to kind of vent on it. All of us drivers sit 80% of our lives. We sit in a seat. Probably one of the most unhealthy jobs a person can have in the United States is a truck driver. About the only other job that probably is more unhealthy than what we do is maybe the guy that tastes alcohol at the whiskey farm, or at the whiskey wherever they make whiskey at, or if you was a chocolate taste tester or something like that, you'd probably be a diabetic in about 10 years. But other than that, a truck driver is a pretty unhealthy job. But how many times, drivers, do you pull up on a truck stop and you think, dang, this truck stop must be full, because you can't hardly get through the entrance. All the fuel islands are full. People are parked all along the curbs on both sides. And the first row is full. You pass that first row up and it's open for days. You could literally do figure eights back there, man. There's probably 200 spots. All them drivers worried about being 50 foot closer to the store, when they know dang good and well they need to be parking in the back row and walking and getting out of the truck looking like a busted can of biscuits, like you 2 weeks from dying, and walking 20 feet to the store. There's a reason they keep finding us dead in trucks. There's a reason that a lot of us keep dying in our sleep. You can get on TikTok and see them doing them last calls all the time, man. This job is unhealthy. And doing that, you're just going to kill yourself even sooner. But I always scratch my head. It's like, my God, man, is it really that serious? Is there something in this truck stop that ain't in the other 5,000 truck stops in the country? I'll get back there, get parked. I get in a hurry and run up inside. Nope. Looks exactly the same. Bathroom might be in a little different location. The trucker stuff might be in a little different location. But other than that, it is almost identical to every other truck stop in the country. So, I don't know. That's just me. That's just my rant. Making it hard getting it in and out of the truck stop. Or, I used to think that drivers did it because they had to use the restroom real bad. Because I've done that before, where I got to go and I got to go now. And I'll pull off on the curb and run inside. But there's no way it can be that many of them. And if it is, we got a lot of drivers out here with some intestinal issues. I'm going to talk about one more thing. And that's these two shorts I posted. One of the shorts I posted was a truck using a runaway truck ramp. And I was absolutely amazed at how many drivers, and I went and looked at some of their profiles. A lot of them were drivers that wrote a comment saying, but where's the rest of the video? Because he should have rolled back down the ramp. This is more of a public service announcement, because I guess they're not teaching this in truck driving school anymore. If you use a runaway truck ramp, it is made of sand, it's made of gravel, pea gravel. They will use a substance that you'll sink up in a little bit for two reasons. One, to help slow you down as you run up the ramp because you don't have no brakes. Number two, to keep you from rolling back down because you'll sink in it. Now, if you've ever looked at the tracks, you can tell that the vehicle went up it really fast, and then you can kind of see the tracks where they swerve a little bit, and that's him coming back down. And they'll normally come back down 10 or 15 feet and then come to a stop. Yes, you will have to get winched out of it. Yes, it's probably going to cost you some money. And yes, you may lose your job. But you'll probably get another job. Matter of fact, I'm sure you will. Here's the other thing. You're not going to wind up in prison. And you're not going to kill nobody or kill yourself. I often wonder if maybe that driver in Colorado wasn't thinking that because he wasn't educated. Maybe we're not educating these new drivers enough to know that, hey, look, if you lose your brakes, don't be ashamed or scared. Use that ramp. That runaway truck ramp is there just for that. It's designed for that. It's designed to save your life and the lives of others around you. So if you don't know, please grab that thing. And that is one of the, I'm going to call it ignorant because a lot of people don't know things that I saw thousands and thousands of comments. I mean, I think that short had 10 million views on it, and I saw thousands of comments that stated just that, thinking that the guy would roll right back down the hill and right back into traffic. Didn't work that way. The other one was a don't do that, and it showed not for parking, and it's the trailer brake on the old trucks. On the older trucks, there's a trailer brake on the column. You don't have them on these new trucks. I know my Freightliner I'm in right now, I'm looking right at it. It don't have one. But back in the day, we did, on the right side, about where the blink, or not blinker, but dang, my mind went blank. There's a knob on cars that's on that right side. But anyway, in the video, it's in two parts. The first guy says, hey, pull this, and it works as your jake brake. And then the second guy says, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. And there were so many people that didn't know. And this is ignorant, because this deal doesn't exist anymore. You know, so a lot of these new drivers don't know that. But I wanted to put it out in here just in case there's a new driver that sees this. Brother or sister, if you ever end up in an old truck that has that, I used to use it for pull test. You know, like when you hook up to a trailer, I would pull down on it and use it for that. I also used to use it to check my brake lights. I used to pull it down, wrap my seatbelt around it, and go check my brakes, see if my brake lights are working. But do not pull that valve down coming down a hill in the place of your jake brake. You're probably going to throw everything in the truck through your windshield. You're going to smoke those brakes. There's so many bad things that can happen if you do that. You might blow all those tires. You might roll that truck. Depending on the weather, you may jackknife. There's a ton of different things that can happen. If you end up in an old truck, please do not pull that valve, that trailer valve, that trailer brake valve. That is all it operates is your trailer brakes, and that's it. Doesn't operate anything else. I felt I needed to say that because I saw so many comments where people didn't really know what it was for, and that's not their fault, because if they've only been driving 4 or 5 years and they've been with these big companies, they wouldn't know what that's for, because trucks aren't made that way. And all of you out there who have been driving a while need to kind of spread the word. You know, hey, there's nothing wrong with helping these new drivers out. You know, and you never know, they might end up quitting the company they're with and going to a company that's got a little bit older trucks, and they may encounter something like that trailer parking brake or that trailer brake. You know, so educate them a little bit. That way they don't get themselves hurt or get somebody else hurt, because I don't want to see any of you get hurt. We are all brothers and sisters out here at the end of the day. Which brings me to this. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I appreciate all of you for stopping by. I know this video is a little longer than what I've been doing here recently. Please share this out so that it can help educate other drivers a little bit. And if any of you are fuming from my CB comments, please forgive me. You know, I still love you anyway. And if I ask you what the weather's doing, please don't lie to me. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Remember, we are all family, even if we are a little bit dysfunctional. And let's keep trucking.